And then Saturday, you'll never guess what I did on Saturday.
Watched movies.
You're close.
Watched a single movie.
Yeah? Come on.
Yeah.
Where do you think I watched it?
At the cinema.
Hey! Jack, you know what that means it's time for, don't you?
Liam went to the cinema and he saw this film and now he's going to give us a spoiler-free review.
How do you still not know the title of this segment?
It's my favourite part of the show.
Exactly, so how do you not know the title? Liam went to the cinema and this is his spoiler-free review of the film that he saw at the cinema.
Yeah, I got that 100%.
Well, I think when you listen back when you're editing it, you'll realise that you really didn't.
We'll see.
So I saw a little movie called Everybody Wants Some.
What's that film about, Liam?
It's about everybody wanting some.
What do they want?
Pussy!
Really?
Yeah, so, it's directed by Richard Linklater. Now, you might know him from Boyhood, which had a lot of Oscar buzz a couple of years ago.
No.
You might know him from the Before trilogy, which is like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, which are just one of the best trilogies ever, and I've recommended to you countless times.
Yep, but I haven't watched them.
Okay. You might know him from School of Rock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, he also directed Dazed and Confused, which I don't know if you've seen, but it's super good.
I haven't.
It's super good. This is Everybody Wants Some is described as like a spiritual sibling, if you will, to Dazed and Confused, where it essentially takes place over a weekend before a school, like a college semester starts in a Texas university.
Okay.
So it's that awkward in-between time, right, where you've just finished high school, but like college hasn't quite started yet. And I think, especially in America, it's a time where a lot of people try to reinvent themselves.
Alright.
Because there's that idea, like, you know, whoever you were in high school... These aren't themes addressed in the movie, by the way. These are just things that other movies have taught me. Whoever you are in high school, when you go to college, you can leave that behind and become...
I've never understood
who
that.
you want to be. It's because in America, bear in mind, right, that each state is essentially like its own country, in a way. Like, each state is very distinctive.
Yeah, but why would that make you change who you are more than here in England?
Because, right, in England, you might go up to Manchester or somewhere, yeah? And no one would know you.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, boring, grey, miserable weather. Let's say, for example...
What are you talking about?
Right,
that's not a reason that people... They don't change more in America because it's sunny.
Yeah, no, here's the thing, right?
Sometimes, Liam,
listen,
your points are just
listen
insane.
to this. Would you say they're nonsensical? Because I think you might be getting me confused with you.
You literally just said the weather makes people change who they are.
Are you going to let me explain myself?
Go on.
Let's say you grow up in California, okay? You go to a Californian high school. You got the Valley Girls, oh my god, all that sort of stuff. That's my American accent. And
so good.
I don't know, you know, you got the surfers, and there's the sun and the sea and the sex and all that. And let's say you don't like that. You decide, I'm going to go New York. It's a bit hustle and bustle with the big city. The weather's not quite so good. You just be a completely different person.
Liam.
Yep.
What you're saying...
Yes.
...is that you believe...
Yes.
Just correct me when I get wrong.
Okay,
I might have misunderstood you.
Probably.
You're saying that the
Yeah.
weather in California...
Yeah, which is really nice.
Yep, super nice. Lots of surfers, lots of valley girls. Yep, all of that. You're saying that the kids in high school that go there are all surfers.
No, not all of them. Some.
You're saying that a lot of kids that go there are California kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that you think that they then go to, like, Montana.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's so cold here.
Yeah.
I'm going to become a nerd.
That could happen. No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying.
No, okay,
I'm
so
not saying.
whoa,
Listen, whoa. Let's all just chill our tits. Here's the thing. You said to let you know when you went off track. This is where you went off track.
Cool.
I'm not saying a Californian surfer is going to go to New York. I'm saying that you're in that environment, surrounded by them, but maybe you're like, oh, I don't necessarily fit in here. Then you go to Montana, and you're like, shit, this is where I fit in. I'm going to be a cowboy. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
Okay. Well, you know.
Tell me when I go wrong.
Yeah. All right.
So your entire premise for this argument is that that's what it's like in America, and that England has miserable weather.
Yeah. So anywhere you go, it's basically the same. It's just chavs and people being miserable.
So you're saying that you think the reason kids change, like, who they are and who people perceive them to be is based on the area they live in, right?
Yeah, like gangs.
As opposed to
the Crips and Bloods.
thing that you're talking about.
Crips and Bloods.
The actual thing you're talking about.
Crips and Bloods.
Which is the whole premise of those things is it's usually in those films like a nerdy kid who's like, I'm fed up of being the nerd and everyone picking on me, so I'm going to act like I'm someone else.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're actually referring to. It's got shit all to do with the weather. For some reason you fixated on the weather point and made that a thing, and then for some reason you decided that people in England don't do that.
Have you seen Grease?
Oh, good lord. Yes, I've seen Grease.
What's the moral of that film?
The moral of that film is change who you are.
Yes.
No one's good until they grease their hair.
That is another good moral from that movie.
I just don't understand, because there definitely are people in England that do go somewhere else and are like, oh shit, I was a dickhead. I'm not going to be a dickhead anymore.
Sometimes.
But your whole argument was that doesn't happen.
I feel
all I was asking, Liam, is I don't get it. Cause
here's let me explain better. I feel like in England, places aren't quite as distinctively different as they are in America. Like, there is such a world of difference.
I just don't understand why you think that would make you change who you are. I don't think that's the reason anyone changes who they are. I think they do it because they're like, I was a lonely like nerd in high school.
Yeah, do you think, right, here's the question.
Are you about to say, do I think that there are lonely nerds in
No,
England?
No.
I do.
Do you think that it's them changing who they are, or them moving to somewhere where they're more accepted for who they are? And let me give you an example. You grow up in Texas. They love their football and barbecues.
Yep.
But let's say you don't. Let's say you're a vegan and you like ballet, right? Suddenly, you're off to Juilliard, the School of Performing Arts.
Jesus, your worldview is so fucked, mate.
What do you mean?
It's just been ruined. You need to watch less films, and I hate to say that to you.
Have you seen High School Musical?
I'm so worried for your mental stability.
Have you seen High School Musical?
Your whole thing is just... I don't understand, Liam. The whole of America isn't divided into... Like, everyone in Texas, you don't go to Texas and go, oh man, I'm in Texas, I guess I love football and barbecues now. And I don't think if someone went, you know what, I'm actually not that big a fan of barbecues, I don't think their parents would be like, get out, go north, go where it's cold, you don't belong here.
Well, here's why I wouldn't know this.
You insane freak.
Here's why I wouldn't know this. I've never lived in America, and I would love to change that.
Humans are the same, Liam.
They're not. You go to a tribe in like Africa that's never seen like other people before. You have fun with them, Jack, and you tell me after that experience.
What are you talking about?
You tell me after that experience. You tell me after that experience how humans are the same.
Right, they are humans.
Are they not humans?
Basic humans are the same, Liam.
Right,
all the basic needs are the same. So if I went to a tribe in Africa,
you'd get on with them.
The real logical point to what you're saying would be: would I find a kid there who was like, you know what, I don't fit in? And I bet that there are children in some of those African tribes that are like, I don't really fit in with this. I'm not a huge hunting fan. I really like gathering as opposed to hunting deer.
Anyway, I feel like we're getting off point, right? So my week was fine.
What did you think of the film? You were doing a film review.
Yeah. So Everybody Wants Some, right? Is about that time in college between high school and starting the actual college semester. And so in the movie, it's what I thought was interesting is it follows like a group of jocks who normally in these type of movies they're kind of seen as the antagonists, like the villains, the dumb-headed the meatheads, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, they're actually given like there's still a couple that would conform to that stereotype, but they're definitely a lot more layered, and there's like a lot more character going on in them, which I think is something that you don't often see in movies. I think the last time I saw that done in a kind of really eye-opening and impressive way was High School Musical, where...
Please don't talk about High School Musical.
Well, no, you have Troy Bolton, who's like the basketball jock, but then he actually gets into song and dance, and one of the big themes in the first movie is not changing. There's a whole song about don't rock the status quo, and it's like, you know, you're in this clique at high school, don't start messing that all around and joining the theatre group, like that's mental. But the whole movie is about how you overcome that, you see. And so that's like, you know, a really good example of that theme. I think Everybody Wants Some does an admirable job, not quite as good as High School Musical. There was a lot less singing and dancing, but I will say, brilliant 80s soundtrack. Like, it's set in 1980, And it honestly, like, if you've seen a Richard Linklater film that isn't School of Rock, you'll know that what he's really good at is dialogue. So this is literally like a 2-hour film of just throwing out with this group of guys. And I get, like, for a few people, that won't really be their thing, and that's fine. But for me, I really like the idea of American college. I think the way they do the education out there is so much better than how we do it over here. Because, like, over here,
picking
right?
classes thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, over here, you pick a class and that's it. Like, so I did film. Every single class I did had to relate to film somehow. Whereas over there, you get, like, majors and minors. So you could major in film, but you could minor in, like, politics or math or science or languages, which I think is a much more substantial way of doing education. I don't know what your stance is on that.
I don't know about it being more substantial, but it's probably a better way.
I would say incredibly so.
I think when you go to uni, because for us, uni and their college are sort of the same age, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to uni, I feel like a lot of people don't know what they want to do.
Were you like that?
What? Say again?
Were you like that when you went to uni?
I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't get the grades to do it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I've always known what I wanted to do through education and have never achieved it.
What did you want to do?
I really wanted to be an astrophysicist.
I mean, bravo for dreaming big.
I don't think it's dreaming that big. I just needed to do better in A-level science.
What about math?
That as well. Like my issue was I like specific stuff. So I like when we did astronomy and astrophysics and shit in A-level classes, I always was like so invested in those classes and then hated all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I also don't get on with the traditional education system. I don't do well in it.
What do you think it is about it that you don't kind of respond favourably to?
I honestly don't know. Like, I just know there's like, all those different fucking ways of learning and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I went to specific, like, lessons, not lessons, but, like, after school shit about that stuff. And they talked to us about all the different types of learning. And I was just like, oh, okay, school's not the one for me. Like, or what they're doing in school isn't the way I like it.
So, can I ask, sort of quite a serious... Like, I know, you know, Nerd on Nerd, we have a lot of jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
But just to be serious, have you not considered, like, still pursuing that in your spare time? Like, trying to find, like, a private tutor or something?
No, see, I don't know what the, like, rules are on the whole thing. Like, can I go back to uni?
Yes.
Or would I... See, but that's the thing. I didn't like uni, so I wouldn't want to go back and do it.
Right, well, I mean, the question was, can you? And the answer is yes. I mean, should you?
Yeah, no.
Is a different question.
But I feel like I've decided since then, like, that was, you know, leaving A-levels.
Yeah.
And then after going to uni and stuff, I was like, what I really like doing is creating things, which is why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, but, like, with astrophysics, it's all there. Like that, you can't really create new astrophysics.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, like, instead of following that, I've instead decided to do creative stuff with my free time.
Yeah.
And hopefully eventually turn that into a job.
Anyway, everybody wants some. I'd say, for me, it was a solid 4 out of 5. But I get that it's not going to be appealing to a lot of people. I think if you've seen other Richard Linklater films, particularly Dazed and Confused, Boyhood, then definitely give this a go. I've heard it described as this almost, it kind of picks up where Boyhood left off. I don't know if you know a lot about Boyhood.
I remember hearing about it, but I never watched it.
So it was filmed over, I can't remember his age, it was like 8 years, 7, 8 or 12 years. It was in that spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And basically it was the same cast, and the director filmed them for like a little bit every year. And like not just like filmed them like casual, like gave them a script and stuff and had a story. So you essentially see this character grow up on film.
Oh, okay.
And you know, it's a lot about his family life. So Patricia Arquette played his mother. And again, you know, you see her age over the course of like however many years they took making this film. It was just it was one of those movies where it got a lot of buzz because of how much time and effort went into actually making it. I have to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds quite interesting.
It really is. It's a really good idea. Now, I don't know how entertaining the final result is. Like I said, like, this sort of thing's right up my street, so I enjoyed it, but I get that it wouldn't have a lot of mass appeal necessarily.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where everybody wants some. That's the trouble it's going to kind of face, in that it's going to appeal to people that really dig like Richard Linklater's other stuff, but a general wide audience maybe less so.
Fair enough.
But I for you, Jack, I would 100% recommend watching Before Sunrise.